Ciao, jewelry making friends. My name is Joey Balistreri for those of you who are new here. And so welcome to everybody, whether you're new or have been on my channel before. So this deliciousness that you see on my beading mat is so exciting to me. Today is one of those days where I literally have gone into my stash and pulled out things that I already own, things that I purchased because I love them and just thought they were colorful and fun. And also my inspiration piece is right here in my hand, which is also something that I purchased at a national chain. This was at Chico's, if any of you are in America and know that chain. And I purchased this little necklace because I just loved it and I thought it was simple, boho chic, but clever. So all this is a piece of nylon cord and also a tiny piece of like a suede flat leather in tone on tone, and it is a series of overhand knots with just silver beads and these little dangle charms that are very unusual. They don't have a head pin. It's a little soldered charm with a loop, and it just goes all the way around for about 30 inches. And I just love this with jeans and a t-shirt, and it's very easy. It has this really cool slider clasp, little silicone bead, and just really pretty finished ends. The little dangles on the end, I don't know if you can see, but they even have a little crystal in them. So like there was a lot of little sweet details, and I have worn this. I've had this for a few years, and it's starting to show a little bit of wear. I'm still not ready to give it up because even the little bit of tarnish that's kind of beginning kind of adds to the patina and just the beauty of this. But it's so simple. It's such a simple design, but really lovely and fun. And, you know, just like I was thinking I want to do my own version of this and something that can go into spring and summer that's really casual and boho chic, elegant. So that's what I am playing with today. So I do not have one of these slider beads in my stash, but I did come up with a solution. And oddly enough, the nylon cord that I already had on hand looks identical to this. So I had a set, I think there were 8 colors from our craft store Michael's. It's a bead landing product, and it is just nylon cord. You got like all these different colors, and it was a 10-piece set, not 8, 10 colors. So I pulled out my 2 favorites, the pink and then like the turquoise green, but it looks to me like it's almost the identical cording that was used in my inspiration piece. And so this piece here is like 38 inches long, and it's perfect for me. I literally just pull this over my head, and I have like this sweet, not too heavy, but the metal beads have a little weight. So I just pull this over my head and I am ready to go. And I am going to do a similar design. Mine is going to have a clasp because I don't have a slider bead. But anyway, I am super excited to do my own version of this little piece that I purchased at a women's clothing retailer. And so I've been in my stash and I've pulled out a little flower toggle and some he-she beads. I have them separated. I have these in 2 sizes that have that little sparkle kind of embedded in the polymer clay. And then I have these little saucer beads. They're almost like little discs. Now, I don't know if you can see, but I will be needing to get 2 bits of the nylon through the holes. So some of these have larger holes and some of them have smaller holes. So I'll see what kind of a challenge that is going to be for me. And then I had a couple of spacers that really were fabulous with my little disc beads as far as size goes, and they have the nice large holes. So those were just in my stash. And look what I had. It's not exactly like my inspiration piece, but I have these little teardrops that I got from the Bead Box bargains, and they have a really nice size hole for my nylon cording. So they may end up in my necklace. And then I have been wanting to use my ceramic heart. So I'm thinking that I may just do one ceramic heart in my stringing, but I'm not sure yet. I am going to play with the pattern. So let me show you what I have done. I pulled off about 80 inches of my two colors of nylon cord, and I have already done one end to show you where I will be going. So this is a clamshell end piece, and the hole here is a tiny bit challenging for getting both pieces of cord in, but I did it. I used a couple of tricks to get it through and then tie a knot, add a little bit of glue, and I was able to do it without too much tediousness. And so I have already done this end, and then I took double the length of the necklace, my inspiration necklace, and I just guesstimated how much cording I would be using up with knots. So I have about 80 inches of cording here. It is probably too much, but I really want my necklace to be 38 to 40 inches long, so I figured double that. And if there's any left over, it will not go to waste. These make the cutest earrings and knotted bracelets, so if I have any extra length, it will get saved for another project for sure. So I am just going to play around with a pattern, and I'm not really going to look at my inspiration piece. I am going to kind of do my own thing, and I think I want to start by putting an overhand knot just here, just simply for decoration, you know, just. And this is to start off with. Oh my goodness, I had no way. It's a ridiculously long length of cording, so there's no way that I'm going to be able to stay in the camera, but I'm going to try to show you what my plan is. What I found that worked really well in my test was using my little thread zap. For those of you who don't know what this is, it has a battery inside, and you just press the button and that little tip will heat up, and it will not work on cotton cord, but on nylon cord you can just like gently touch the cording. Let me put one strand and do one at a time. And so what I did is just really gently like brush this on the cord until I could kind of see that it was turning dark. You could do this with a lighter or a match. You can also stiffen up the end of nylon cord with nail polish or super glue or that kind of thing, but I was so excited to get started stringing that I didn't want to do all of that. So I am just kind of melting the end of my cord and making it stiff, and hopefully it's going to work for all of my stringing. I'm going to come down a little bit far, almost kind of making the nylon cord into a needle. It's safe. You don't want to touch the tip of a thread zap for sure, but you can see that as soon as I pull the thread zap away from my nylon cord, I can touch it with my fingers, and so I have like a nice stiff little end for stringing. And I'm going to do the same thing on my other one. So I love my little thread zap, and I just ordered this from Amazon. I can link this below if any of you are interested. It's a fun little tool. One person in our lovely community, she was so cute in her message. She said she was a toolaholic, and I have adopted her saying because I am also a toolaholic. I love tools. I feel like with tools, I can do just about anything. So if there is a cool looking tool, I will feel like I have to get it and play with it. And so you can imagine over the years of jewelry making, I have collected quite a lot of tools. So let me start by maybe one of these little discs, and I'm going to mix up the colors. I just think these polymer clay beads are just lovely. So this is what I did run into. The first thread goes through very easily, even though this cord is not thick at all, but sometimes I even found that I needed to I can see that there's space in there, so sometimes I just needed to pull one thread off to the side and get the second one in there. My gold spacers were much easier. And also I have my little Zuron round nose pliers so that once my nylon is poking through, I can grab a hold of it. And right now, since I only have one knot in this cord, it is ridiculously long and it is grabbing on everything. It is grabbing on my pliers, my microphone, but that's okay. After I get some beads on here and get a few knots, it will be really pretty. I already love that. I have only one bead and I already love it. So what I was thinking is, when I was playing around, I was thinking how pretty these little disc spacers were in between my my little kind of, I guess they're disc polymer clay beads. This is like a gold Heishi spacer, and I really think that's so pretty. It's almost the same size. And so what I was thinking is that I would do those in between each of my polymer clay beads. And I think I'm going to just totally do random. Just like, I'll have to see if I like even the red. I think I'm just going to totally do random. Let me try this blue one and see how I feel about it. And then I was thinking that my little bit fatter, can you see the little bit chunkier spacer bead might be pretty for the bottom of my heart. I really haven't decided yet. Today I am just totally playing and having fun. So this is, to start off with, this is catching on everything. You guys, I am all tangled up in my microphone cord. Hold on. I'm untangled. This is the challenge of working under a camera and with a microphone, but isn't that pretty? I really, really love that. Now, with these overhand knots, I do not think that I will need a knotting tweezer, but let me pull my cord through. Sometimes you can just work it down with your finger. Let me see how well I do. Yeah, I think I might not even need my knotting tweezer, but on my next little segment, I will show you how to use that in case any of you are interested. And these will string onto one strand, but I think I'm going to add those in a little bit further down because this will be the part behind my neck. So I think I'm going to continue my stringing pattern. And this one has like even just done a knot in between the beads, and I think I am going to do that as well. Just make an overhand knot as almost as a spacer and as a design element. I think that will be really pretty, just to add a little, you know, the cord is so pretty and the color of the cord is just part of the beauty. So I think I'm going to do that and then start my next little bead station with another knot. And I'll show you, let me get the next little set of beads on, and I'll grab my knotting tweezers just in case any of you are interested in a knotting technique. This is so much fun. I love a project like this, and I am a very big proponent of going into our supplies and using what we own and using what we have purchased, because generally if we've spent money on something, it's something we love and it spoke to us. And I just hate for things that I've purchased, especially beautiful things, I just hate for them to sit in a drawer and not get used. It just, you know, I love my bead boxes, and I love, if any of you that make jewelry, I'm sure you agree, it is so much fun to go to the mailbox and have a bead order there or a subscription box. But I think it's really important to use what we have purchased as well. So I am going to try to do some videos like that where I go into my stash and use things that I have purchased, and hopefully you'll get some little tips or techniques and, you know, do that on your own. Look how gorgeous. I realize there's a lot on my mat competing, but let me just do a knot with my knotting tweezers. And for those of you who don't know what they are, this is a knotting tweezer. It's really long and it has this teeny tiny little tip. And I don't even know that it's going to be necessary, but this is the same technique you would use if you were doing knots in between pearls or crystals or anything. I'm using nylon cord and polymer clay beads, but what you do is kind of get your knot down close to the bead, and then you reach inside with your tweezers inside your loop that you have made and grab the cord or stringing material right there where, can you see, my knotting tweezer is right on top of the bead, and then you can pull your cord right down to your tweezer, and I have it in there a little bit too far, but pull it really tight and then take your tweezer out, and then you can even use your tweezer or your fingernail to push the knot so you have your knot really close to your beads and no unwanted space. So on this, I don't even know if it's going to be necessary to use those, but for those of you who might like to try a knotting technique, that is that is how it is done. And it's like everything, it's like the wire working, you get really good with practice. If I go a little bit without doing any knotted pieces, I find when I pick it up again, it's almost like I haven't done it. So, I try to cycle through my techniques so that I don't lose my skill. YouTube is wonderful for that though, because if you have not done something for a bit and then you decide to pick it up again and you can't quite remember how to get started, or you feel awkward, we have YouTube. We have the choice of so many creators and teachers and voices, and it's just really a gift in the 21st century. So what I'm going to do is continue in this way, kind of creating some sort of a pattern here. I'm thinking that my next bead might, that one doesn't have a clear hole. That is Murphy's Law. When you're filming, you will always pick up a bead that has a blocked hole or something won't clasp. I don't know what that is, but anyway, I'm going to play around with my little pattern here. And when I get my desired length, doing exactly what I am showing you, I will come back. And so if you're making along with me, you can pause the video and I will come back and show you how I am going to get that little clamshell on the end and finish this off. And if I've decided that I'm going to use one or more of my little ceramic hearts. So this is, I wanted to kind of have some little gold presents in between. And if you're making along, get your desired length and come back and we will finish this off together. I am checking in. I have been stringing and knotting, and this is absolutely gorgeous. This is just happiness on a string. I have to say, I love this. I realize that I still have a lot going on my mat, but let me just try to show you up close. I am randomly adding in all the different colors and beads and randomly placing knots. I did add in these little drops that I had and making sure that there's a little bit of gold space in between, and I've put this around my neck, and I have decided that I am going to do a heart. And so this is the point where my heart is going to be, and I'll put some pictures up at the end to show you how it's going to work. But the heart is going to sit up just below my collarbone, like an asymmetrical, not down in the middle. And so I did a double overhand knot here, and I want to make almost like a little heart station. So I'm going to feed on one of these little gold spacers, and wait a minute, I might be upside down. Hold on, let me see. I'm just going to pull out of the camera for 1 minute. Okay, yes, gold spacer first. I was correct because I want this to be the bottom of this little beaded heart station. So gold spacer first, and then I'm going to do my heart, and I don't know if you can see how large the holes are in these. So I'll show you how I am going to sort of cover that up. It's going to kind of be its own little station like that, and then because of the size of the hole in these are ceramic, I want to put I found the smallest of my polymer clay beads and one with the little sparkle in it, but I think the hole is a little tiny bit, maybe too small for both of my ends of my nylon cord to go through. So I have this little set of reamers that I ordered from Amazon, and they just work great. They work on glass and crystal and those kind of beads, but they also work on polymer clay beads. So I started with the, I started with the super skinny one and kind of widened the hole a bit, and then I moved up to the next size. This is just a great little set of tools. It comes with a file and a couple of different size reamers, and I keep it on the side of my work table because I really want this bead on my necklace. And I don't know if you can see, but I have enlarged the hole without damaging the bead. And now let me see if I can get both of my cords through, because I just really want it. So my one goes in very easily, and then my second one is going to be a little tight, but I can feel it moving, and I see that I have space there. And so what I've done is my knotting tweezers have a really tiny tip. So what I've done on some of my other beads that were a little tight is just push, just give it a push. Can you see the tail coming through? And so now I can just grab a hold of it and it's through. So that's what I've done for all of my stringing, and it has not been tedious or frustrating, and I have not been forcing things. And so now I have this beautiful little heart station that's going to be offset on the necklace and sitting, you know, either up on my right side or my left side. And I'm just going to continue with my knotting. And I want this to be, my original necklace is 38 inches long around there when it's fully, you know, when I have the little bead all the way to the end. It's about 38 inches, and I just pop it right over my head. And so, oh my goodness, I love this little ceramic heart and polymer clay and gold bead station. This is making me so happy. I mean, this is just literally happiness on a string. I mean, it's just beautiful. I'm so thrilled with it. Anyway, I digress. My original one is about 38 inches, and I think that I'm going to do this one maybe a bit longer, maybe 40 inches. And then I had another really great idea, and now I am debating whether or not I want this to be a necklace, but wouldn't this be fabulous as a sunglass chain or a reading glasses chain? Just so fun and colorful. So, you know, once the stringing and the knotting is done, you can make it a necklace or, you know, do something entirely different with it. So I'm sitting here just enjoying my process, my patterns, my beads, and I was thinking what a gorgeous glasses chain this would make. So I am, let's see where I am in my beads. I think I am going to do another gold spacer. And so I'm going to continue my stringing and knotting, and when I'm all finished, when I'm at my desired length, I'll come back and we will finish this off together. My stringing and knotting is all done, and I could not be more pleased. This absolutely just makes me smile. I think these are the happiest colors. They are so fresh for spring and summer, and I live in Florida, so these are colors we wear all year long. And as I said, I think this would just make a fabulous sunglass chain. And you know, from here, once we do this little end, you can connect a lobster claw clasp, a toggle clasp, which is what I'm going to use, a magnetic clasp, the little loops, you know, that hold eyeglasses or sunglasses. Like from here, you could really do anything you want. You could even make this a wrap bracelet if you wanted to. I mean, it is just so beautiful and so colorful, and it has just the right weight. I'm really impressed with the cording, and the polymer clay beads are light, but then my metal spacers had a little bit of weight to them, so it just feels like perfection. I wish you guys could have it in your hands and feel it, because it's really cool. I love it. So this is what I have left, and if you are making this and you want to go by my measurements, I think I did about 82 inches of, you know, the double strands. So that's giving me, it's pretty perfect when I tried it on, of my 38 inch. So that will give you a 38 to 40 inch necklace at the end with all the knots. And it's just really hard to figure. If I knotted a lot, I even have some knots in between my beads, just acting as a design element, kind of as a knot spacer. And so if you did less knots, you might have more left over, but hopefully that will help you kind of guesstimate. But you don't really waste. If you have a lot left over, you can do the prettiest earrings and bracelets with the cord in smaller lengths, so you really won't waste it. But what I'm going to do is show you what I did on this end to get this little clamshell connector over both of my cords. So the first thing that I did is open it up just a tiny bit more, very gently. I don't know how well you can see the hole. It does not have a very large hole, but I'm going to make it work. And so I'm just going to get a hold of it and just very gently open it out just a tiny bit. It just felt like it gave me a little bit more working space. And I do have I did burn both of the ends of my cord. So let's see, it's got to go in from the back. Go again. See if that made a difference. Yes, that made a difference. Okay, and that's why I opened it, so that I can get a hold, have some space in there to pull it through. And for my knotting, I may have to melt this side a little bit more as well. Let me try without it. If you can even get it started. Let me try a little piece of wire. I had success on the other end using just a scrap of wire to push it through, because it does fit in there. It just is a little tight getting it in. But once it's in, it does fit. So that's what I did on the other side. Once I got it in, if I could see it, I could pull it with my pliers even. And I do see it. Let me switch hands. Can you see it peeking through? I don't know, it's just peeking through. So just get a hold of it there. That's exactly what I did on the other end. Just be patient, and you may have larger size clam shell connectors than I do. This is literally from my stash. This is what I had, and I'm using what I have today. So then I just want to get a knot, get my two threads to line up. Okay, and I just want to make another overhand knot. Now on the other end, I used some gel Loctite super glue inside once I had this knot, and I was thinking on this end I might try to melt it with my thread zap, but let me grab my really small Suron pliers and use them almost like a knotting tweezer, just reaching really inside. I want that knot to be as small and as tight, and it has to fit inside the clamshell connector. and just pull tight. And I don't have a lot of strength in my hands, so sometimes I will use my pliers to help me tighten and pull things. That looks really, it looks really great. So on the other end, I use some super glue, and you can totally do that, but let me trim away my excess here. And I'm going to see, I did pretty well. That is all the waste I have from my 82 or so inches. So I'm going to see how this works. If I don't feel that it's good, I will go do the same thing I did on the other end with the super glue, but I'm going to see about just melting this knot. Just get on the side here and just kind of fuse those two cords together and just fuse the whole thing so it's like melted into one big knot. Just want to take my time and make sure that it is not coming undone. A little string there. That looks pretty good to me. I feel like that's pretty secure. Let me just give it a pull before I close it up. That feels really secure to me. So now all I need to do is just gently close that clamshell over my knot, just as close it as well as I possibly can. Little side to side. We'll close it up. That looks great, and it feels really, really secure. And I'm just going to get my round nose pliers and just close that loop. Just make sure that it's closed on itself. And can you see that it's touching? So I am super happy with this beautiful, colorful necklace. And as I said, from here, you can finish the ends any way you want. If you wanted to do the little eyeglass, the little silicone connectors, you could do that. I think I am going to go ahead and enjoy it as a necklace. That's what I started out to do. And you know, that's the wonderful thing about being jewelry makers. I may wear this for a while as a necklace and then take 2 minutes to take the toggle clasp off. So I'm using oval jump rings, just take them off and connect it to the little eyeglass loops. So I mean, you know, that's the wonderful thing about being jewelry makers. I just closed it beautifully without putting my toggle on. I'm talking and not fully concentrating on what I'm doing. But that's the wonderful thing about being jewelry makers, is that we can easily repair our favorite pieces, change them around, you know, cut the beads. If you get tired of a piece, you know, you can rescue the beads and do something else with the beads. I just absolutely love what I do. I love making gifts for my friends, and I am thrilled with this necklace. Oh, it's just like my other projects, you guys, with the long length, which is very, very difficult to share it with you on my beading mat when I'm finished because of the length. But this is a stunning, happy, you know, I love to do minimalist jewelry, and I love to do very elegant pieces that are timeless. I love playing with geometry in jewelry, but sometimes it's so nice just to do something fun, colorful, whimsical, not too serious. And you know, we get in different moods. I do. Some days I'm in the mood to be elegant and look like quiet luxury, and some days I just feel fun and colorful and silly. So I have jewelry for all my moods. I thank you guys so much for choosing my video today. If you're not subscribed to my channel, I would greatly appreciate it. It doesn't cost anything or obligate you to anything. And in the description box underneath the video, I will put links to my tools that I used and anything I think you might be interested in. And I hope everybody is having as much fun on their beading mats as I am. Thanks for watching, everybody. Ciao, jewelry making friends.